Hello YouTube world, my name is Serene and welcome to Staying Serene. Today I'm going to be sharing a college video on tips for online school. So this is actually my second year, my sophomore year at the University of the Bahamas. And due to COVID-19, my university decided to go online, so we have virtual classes for the rest of the year. And so I'm going to be sharing my tips because this is actually my fourth week of online lessons. So I'm going to be sharing my tips and just what I think you should know to help you along with online classes. So tip number one is to have a designated workplace. So I want to encourage you to find a place that you can come to work to every day. This is where you're probably going to take your Zoom classes, you have any Zoom meetings, and just work on your college assignments. And so I just think that it's so important to have a place where you know that this is where you're going to get work done. And this workplace can be anywhere. It can be in your dining room, it could be in your bedroom, just an area where you know you can go to get away from distractions and where you can focus on your work. Another thing is that even though you have this designated workplace where everything is ready for you to get to work, you know that you can actually change it up a bit and work somewhere else. So I have a designated workplace, I have a desk, but if I ever feel unmotivated or just like I need to change things up, I need a change of scenery, a change of place, I'm actually going to do work in other locations. So I might do work on my bed or in my living room just to have somewhere else to get work done, because sometimes it can get very boring doing work in the same place. So have an area where you know that you're going to get work done, but if you ever feel like you just need a change of pace and this is just too repetitive and we're not going much of anywhere, and so you just want to do something different, maybe you should just go in a different area of your house and just try and change things up a bit. So have a designated workplace, but know that if you need to, you can just move and be able to have the freedom of moving somewhere else to do your work. Okay, tip number two is to write everything down. I feel with online classes is that you really need to be self-disciplined because you need to hold yourself accountable to all the things that are due. And so I think that it's so very important to not rely on your own memory to remember when things are due or deadlines, but to write it down. It is so important to write down any assignments you might have, dates, deadlines, and any tests or quizzes, exams, projects, all these things that are coming up that you don't want to miss or forget. I feel that, it's up to each person to decide which thing is going to work best for them. What might work for me might not work for you. So I encourage you to figure out what medium, which way actually works for you to make sure that you are able to track your assignments and whatever is due and go back and make sure that you stay on top of things. So what I like to do is I actually have a planner. I have the Happy Planner and the Happy Planner Student Edition. So that is what I use to write down all of my dates, my deadlines, any quizzes, tests, projects. I write them all in there that I like to plan when I want to get them done so I can remain on top of things. But you might find that you like a calendar or maybe you like a virtual calendar like Google Calendar. Or maybe you're just going to use an empty notebook to write down all of your assignments and deadlines and dates. If that works for you, then that is what you should use. So I want to encourage you to just figure out what works for you. I also want to remind you that you need to take note of time. You need to know the exact time that things are due. Unlike traditional classes where you might know that, this is due next class or next week or whatever, you actually need to know the time because you need to know when you need to upload your assignments to whatever platform you're using. So we're using Moodle. And if we do not put it on time, then the submission will close and we're unable to submit the assignment and it's late. And we don't want that to happen. So please make sure that when you are writing these things down or using whatever method you like to use to track your assignments and when they're due, make sure you know the time, because time your assignments can be due at any time of day. I had an assignment that was due at midnight, another assignment due at 4 p.m., another assignment probably due at 8 p.m. So you need to make sure you have this assignment. And it's better able to plan your time because you know that, okay, then I have an assignment due at midnight tonight. So that means that I don't have to work on it this morning. I could probably work on it later, but I need to get the assignment that's due at 4 p.m. That needs to be done first. So it's really important to prioritize your time and to make sure that you are aware of when things are due. You don't ever want to miss the exact time things are due. And I know that it is easy because I actually had an assignment that was due at midnight and I thought it was due at noon. And it wasn't until I took a deeper look and I looked at it again that I realized that it was due at midnight and I really needed to get it done. So please make sure that you pay attention to and note the times that things are due so that you can meet your deadlines. Okay, then tip number 3 is to place your important tasks in a place where you can see them. So for me, when any work is out of sight, it's out of mind, and it's just so easy to forget it if I do not have it right in my face. And so I just find that it's really easier just to have something so I can just look at it and know automatically what needs to be done. So how I get that done is I do have a whiteboard, and so every day I write down the 3 top things I need to get done that day, my 3 top priorities. And I actually got this method from Erin on Demand. I will leave her YouTube channel down in the description box below. So in her channel, that is something that she uses, the top 3 technique, which allows her to plan the top 3 priorities she needs to get done that day and work towards it, and just feel so accomplished and fulfilled at the end of the day when those top 3 things are done. So it is good to have my planner because I can see everything that's due, the deadlines and stuff, but the whiteboard is really good for making sure that I stay on top of things, that I know the top 3 things I need to get done in that day, and it's just really good for me to have it in my mind. So during the day I can just glance at it. When I wake up in the morning, I glance at it and I'm like, okay, then these are the 3 things I need to get done today, and I already have it in my mind that I need to get these things done. So it's just really good at keeping me on track. I find that when my board is empty, I don't feel as motivated to do things. I feel as though I have a lot more time, and I'm just really, it's easier for me to slack and get off track when I do not have that physical reminder that these are things I need to get done today. So that is also a very helpful tip I have for you. Maybe you need a whiteboard or just something to put in front of you so you can know this is what I need to get. So you can know this is what I need to get done today, and just to motivate yourself to do it. I find another helpful tip is to have sticky notes to keep things right in front of you. So if I'm in class and the teacher might make a note of something or say that, you know, she has a class activity for us and I need to make sure that I submit it on time, I might just jot it down on a sticky note and put it on my desk so that I can just look at it and remember, okay, this is really important. I don't want to forget it, and I can just glance at it and know, okay, then, and I can do it. So make sure you just have some type of physical reminder so that you can always just glance at it real quick, and it's always in your face that this is what needs to get done. Okay, so tip number 4 is to not be afraid to contact your professors, okay? And so contrary to the traditional classroom, it actually takes a lot more effort on online school to reach out to your professor if you need help. So if you have any questions or concerns, or you just need any help, it is very good to reach and contact your professor through either email, through messages, or through calling. Our platform that we use, as I said earlier, is Moodle, and that actually does have a message where you can message your teachers. And so it's very good if you just need some help or you just want to ask a quick question to contact your professor. But it's also important to note that if you're contacting them, especially if you're going to call them, that you do know their office hours, because you do not want to interrupt their class or Zoom meeting. So please respect your professor's time and respect that they might be in a class while you're calling them. And it's such a distraction to them and their students if there's a call in the middle of their class. So be mindful of that and ensure that you're working within your professor's office hours. Another tip that I have for you under that tip 4 is that if you're unable to reach your professor for any reason, reach out to a fellow classmate or student. And that is something that I've actually done in the past few weeks. Virtual classes, I've reached out to I've reached out to my fellow students for help, and they have reached out to me for help. So it's really good, because if you feel like this is not something that you want to bother your teacher with, a simple question that needs a simple answer, then reach out to a fellow classmate who can help you out. Okay then, so tip number 5 is to speak up during class. So when it comes to virtual classes, the easiest thing to do is to hide behind your camera and not say a word. Okay then, but as my former principal said, participation equals points. So you want to make sure that you're participating during class, that you're speaking up, and the teacher actually knows you're there. Even though it's so easy, especially if you're in a class that's really big, to just be quiet, but I really do think that it helps, first of all, for the teacher to know that you're there, to know that you're participating, you're active, you're engaged, and if your professor is actually taking points for participation, you want to make sure you're getting those points. And if you're actually brave, maybe you want to turn on your mic and also your camera so that your professor can also see you. That is, if you're feeling brave and you're sure that you are dressed properly to be seen on camera. And so I just find that it's really important to speak up during class so that you can get your participation points and that you ensure that you're active and engaged in the classroom. I also want to note that what I like to do What I like to do during my virtual classes is I wait 10 seconds after the teacher asks a question. So I wait my 10 seconds, and if no one answers it, then I'm going to answer. And so that just ensures that I'm not going to speak over anyone else, and that I give everyone else an opportunity to speak before I do. So in those 10 seconds, someone might just speak, and if they do, then I'm not going to say anything. But if no one speaks, then that means that I can go, and so I do speak. And I'm confident that most of the time no one's going to speak if they don't speak in the first 10 seconds. And so that's just something that helps to be respectful to the other classmates, to make sure everyone gets an opportunity to speak during online classes. I know that in some instances and in some cases it's hard to make sure that you don't speak over someone else. So when that does happen, just allow the person who spoke first to go first. And if you want to be courteous, no matter who goes first, allow the other person to go, and then you just follow right after. And so just do your best to avoid speaking over someone, and that should help. The 10-second rule should help in making sure that you respect everyone else, that they're given an opportunity to speak, and that you are allowed to get your participation points. So that is my tip for speaking during class. Number 4, speak up and just wait 10 seconds so that someone else can speak. And if no one speaks, that means it's your time to go. Okay, and my tip number 5 for online classes is to make time to rest. And I think this is such a difficult thing to do because we're online and we're in the comfort of our homes. I'm home, and for me, home usually was something after school. I would just come here, or after college, I would just come here and it's be my place of rest and stuff. But now my home has been transformed into my classroom, because this is where I'm taking my classes and doing assignments. And so it's so much easier to just get into a work cycle and overwork yourself because you're at home, and you know, it's just so easy to just work and work and work without rest. But I want to encourage you to actually make time to rest. This is so important. This is also on my 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, that book that I did read recently. The book review will be up in the iCards. Habit number 7 is to sharpen the saw. So I've just learned there's so much importance in resting. Even when I'm at home taking online classes, I need to take time to rest. At times I feel guilty when I take time to rest, but I just need to remind myself that rest is beneficial to me, beneficial to my mind, my body, and that is also productive. It is productive to be restful, and it's not a waste of time. It's so easy to, when you're resting, to just think, oh, I could have been doing this, there's an assignment I could have done, there's this, there's so many things I could have done, but that's not what you're doing. You're resting, and that is also as equally as important as all of those assignments and things that you need to do. So allow yourself to rest, allow yourself to breathe, allow yourself to tear yourself away from the laptop or your computer or whatever you're using for your classes, and rest. And if you need to, take a nap or two. I've actually taken a few naps recently, and it was beneficial. So just give yourself time to rest. So those are my 6 tips for online school. I really hope this video really helps you. If you want to watch more college videos, I'll have them up in the iCards as well. So those will be very beneficial for you, especially as a college student. I also do have an Instagram account where you can find inspirational quotes that I create myself as a writer. And so that's at Staying Serene, where you can find quotes that I create myself. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Okay, guys.